Hey, what's going on, pool nerds? Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the Revo 12.9 carbon fiber shaft. All right, now in this video I'm going to go over what I do like and what I don't like about this shaft. Is the Revo still the #1 contender on the market when it comes to the carbon fiber in 2025? And how does it hold up to the competition? Okay, so starting off, I actually just received this shaft about 2 weeks ago. And there's a lot of videos on the Revo, so I'm not gonna go into comparison guides about deflection tests and none of that stuff. I got the Predator Revo. Now this isn't my first Revo. I also have the 11.8 and I also have the 12.4, okay? I ended up getting this one because I wanted to see if a bigger tip would give me more consistent accuracy with less of a less stroke, right? Predator advertises this shaft as having more power, and I wanted to see how well it actually held up compared to the other shafts that I already have. Now, I am a big Predator fan. I've had the 3143, I've had the Z shaft, and I got the Revo in place of the 3143, and I also got the 11.8 in the meantime. So this is actually my third Revo. Now, just like anything else, the craftsmanship and the work with the Revo is pretty consistent with all their products. That's why I like Predators so much. If you have one 12.4 or one other 12.9 shaft, getting another one is going to shoot exactly the same. What I have noticed a difference in is the differences in the weight. Okay, but it's not by much. I really can't tell if a shaft is 3.9 or it's exactly 4. Okay. I ordered this from Pool Dogs, which is great because you can call them, you can ask them, when you make your order, you can actually ask them for either the heaviest or lightest shaft or whatever they have available, right? And they'll do their best. Those guys are great. They'll do their best to get you that shaft either lighter or heavier, right? And another thing I got on this, the white volt plate. My other Revos are the black volt plate, right? And it was something I had to get used to because as you can see in the video I'm gonna post here, it's kind of hard to see the distance between the white volt plate and the cue ball. So when I first got this shaft, I ended up kind of slightly, it was hit the cue ball and fouled multiple times in the first couple of weeks of owning it. Since then, I've kind of gotten used to it, so it's not really that big of a deal to me now. But other than that, I originally got it with the Kamui athlete tip, but I ended up not wanting the athlete tip after I got it. And I ended up going with the Zan Hard, which I prefer better anyway, especially when you're playing with carbon fiber. It gives me a better feel. That's my opinion. I know a lot of people like super soft tips, medium tips. But me, I prefer a harder tip. I like the action, that the energy transfer from the cue ball to the object ball, from the cue ball from the tip. Of course, I love carbon fiber shafts. I don't think I'll ever go back to wood unless I'm playing with the Richard Sue, that Tsunami 2.0 shaft, which is a killer shaft, by the way, and I'll do a review on that later on. But I'm just a fan of carbon fiber. I'm a fan of the consistency, especially the Revo. It's Predator they really did an awesome job on making this shaft. For one, for those that don't know, carbon fiber is gonna always be more consistent than wood because it's not subject to weather changes, right? So the shaft is gonna always play the same, no matter what type of weather conditions you're in, whether it's humid or whatever temperature-wise. Now, another thing that I like the most about the carbon fiber is it doesn't ding, okay? Pretty much you can slap this thing on anything, it's pretty much good to go. And it doesn't warp, so if you leave stuff in the car, leave it hot, it's not gonna do anything, it's gonna be just fine. So that's one of the reasons I like carbon fiber. Even though I take care of my cues, I always keep my cues in a good quality cue case. I never had a shaft warp on me or anything. But just good to know, especially when you're paying $500 for it, right? But listen, if you're stepping up your game, a good cue, a good shaft is something you really only have to buy once, especially when you're dealing with a Revo or carbon fiber shaft. So, and I play a lot. I play 40 hours a week. Okay, so That being said, well, not every week, but between 25 to 40 hours a week, every week. But with that being said, I invest in good quality equipment. So I won't be keeping this shaft, right? And here's why. Like I said before, I have the 12.4, I have the 11.8. And this shaft, I just don't feel a need for it, right? I wanted to see how I played. I wanted the power, and I got that, right? This shaft has more power than the 12.4, so you can hit a ball with less speed. Energy transfer will transfer, right? They'll make the ball move. But I can't tell you whether it's any better, even any worse than what I already have. And I noticed it did take some adjustment. With me, especially, I like playing with a lot of finesse. So I did find it was an adjustment coming from a smaller shaft to the bigger shaft. I noticed that sometimes I put a little left or a half a tip of right on the cue ball, and it rolled straight. And that's the reason it's 12.9 is the most forgiving, right? Because sometimes, especially as a beginner, you're gonna hit those off-center shots, and you're gonna actually do it. You're gonna do it on accident, right? Sometimes you mean to hit on the center of the cue ball and you don't. And I think this shaft is made for that. Just the bigger tip in general. If you're used to a bigger tip, a lot of even pros play with bigger tips. I don't. When I first started, of course I did. I started with a house cue like everyone else, but over the years, I've grown to like smaller tips because I changed my game. I have a different game now than when I first started, right? So I would recommend this shaft to someone that's already used to a 13 millimeter shaft, and you want something that plays equally the same, even though this carbon fiber shaft isn't gonna play like a wood shaft, right? It's gonna have way more energy on the ball, way more spin, way more everything. Everything is going to be a little more than playing with any wood shaft, and it's a lot stiffer. The 12.9 is the lowest deflection cue of all three Revos, of the 11.8 and the 12.4, and that's stated by Predator. So the low deflection properties are really amazing. I personally can't tell a difference between the 12.9 and the 12.4 as far as deflection. I don't know what Predator used to test that, but me personally, I don't see a difference. Even though on straight shots, long shots, it is easier to pot a ball. In my opinion, it's easier. I think having the bigger set speed, especially if you're playing on a big table, you're playing on a 9-foot, 10-foot table, it's easier to make those longer shots because those little inconsistencies, little errors in your stroke are gonna be forgiven by the bigger tip placement on the ball, right? So that's what I do like about it. I personally don't need it though. So I'm not saying it's not a great product. It's not saying it's not the best product. It's just not the product for me, right? But I would recommend this to any beginner, okay? Someone who, if your focus is, your stroke is inconsistent, you need to make more shots, all right? You're missing shots that you know you can make, and you're just missing, then I wouldn't opt into the 11.8 or 12.4 because essentially you're probably gonna miss more, all right? Because you probably have a stroke issue, probably have inconsistencies in your stroke, and you need to practice that first. In the meantime, you know, you wanna be able to make shots, you wanna be able to win games, right? So I would suggest just go with a bigger tip because they play the same. You could play the same with either one. All three. It doesn't performance wise, it's the same. It's just me getting adjusted to the bigger size tip. But if you want to upgrade, step your game up, you're coming from a 3.143, 12.9 it's a great shaft. And I recommend it. Has the power you're gonna need to move that ball around. And Predator, when you look at their comparison on their website, it's pretty dead on. Playing with all three, I know Predator has a lot of great advertising, but it is great advertising, great marketing if they're telling the truth. And in my opinion, everything they say it is what it is. Everything they say about the 12.4, everything they say about the 11.8. It is what it is. I find the 11.8, I find to have more control with it, just simply because I can pinpoint exactly where I want to hit on the cue ball, and I tend to have more control versus the 12.9. I just can't pinpoint. I got to get used to it, and I got to play with it to get it there, right? Now, I've had a ton of cues. I have the Synergy, I've had the Rhino, I've had Jay Flowers cues. I've had a ton of cues, and this channel is just, I'm not sponsored by anyone, Predator or anybody. I just want to give an honest review because I've spent tens and thousands of dollars on pool equipment, right? And I do it just to try stuff. I like trying new things. And everything about different products kind of gives me a different insight on the game itself. Because buying a new product, what do you want to do? You want to practice with it. You don't want to play with it. And I know they say it's the Indian, not the arrow, but sometimes changing out that arrow makes you a better Indian. It does. So if you guys are getting new equipment, guys want to see any comparisons, any more videos, make sure you write them in the comments. Let me know your questions. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think about getting? What are you shooting with now? What are your thoughts on the 12.9 if you have one? What shaft do you have? And let everybody read that, because the information, it's better to get the information up front and then to go buy the product so you know what you're getting yourself into. And I always suggest, playing with it. Even though I did play with the 12.9 before I bought it, it's nothing like, it's one thing when you're just shooting balls on a practice table. It's another thing when you get in a match and you're in a tournament and you need to win. And you're playing with something new and it does something funny, or you don't understand it, and you lose confidence in your game because you're playing with new equipment. You don't expect to know what you don't know, right? And that's what I found with it. I was playing a match and I kind of lost the ball a few times, and I couldn't really hone in on the cue with it. I couldn't hone in. I didn't feel confident, so I immediately took it off and switched back to my other shaft and got my game back right. But yeah, this channel is gonna give you honest reviews and what I think. I'm not a pro or anything. I can run a couple racks, but I'm not a pro by any means. But I have other videos coming. This is my first video, so if you'd like to subscribe, I really appreciate it. And I'll make more videos to come. And let me know in the comments what you want to see. I got a ton of stuff. Okay, I got more videos coming. We're gonna shoot a tip video right after this, and I'm also got my Keith Josie custom cue here that I just got a new elephant ear wrap on that I'm gonna talk about. Was the elephant I paid $400 for this wrap, and was it worth it, right? So like and subscribe. We got more videos coming. Let me know in the comments again. What videos you want to see, what you want to talk about, whether you're buying a pool. I've done it all. Help sell pool tables, buy pool tables, cues, all this stuff. And I'm just willing to share it with you. So let me know what you want. Like always, I'll see you guys on the next video.